Hi there, a quick tutorial on how to make a hydrogen fuel cell. These are stainless steel plates. You can't use anything else really because it'll just rust in the electrolysis in the water with the electricity going through it. So you have to start out by either cutting it up yourself if you can, or getting a fabricator to cut up some stainless steel, and then you make a variety of different holes. I'll go through that now as we go. So you're going to need to cut up 2 negative plates, 3 positive plates and 4 neutral plates. This configuration is for a 12-volt car battery as the power source. So you need nylon nuts and bolts to run through the lot to hold it together as you're going. And you're going to need to have washers, and these will have to be plastic as well so that the current doesn't go through them. You need to separate the plates so that when they're in the water, the current will go through the water to the next plate and not just run through the metal itself. So you need to start off on the bottom. The first plate will be plus, and then you'll divide them, and then you'll get your neutral plate, and you'll do it like so. And then you will need to separate them again. And then you'll need to get a negative plate, and then it just runs like that. So here we have the finished configuration. You have your 3 pluses on the right side and your 2 negatives on the left. These are for the currents. You want to make sure that there is enough space between them as well. About 1 millimeter or 2 would be good. And now I'll show you how you will attach the diodes. For the minus and both for the plus, you'll need to have your metal fixings, your stainless steel, and these will run through each of these. And you'll fix them on. This is important because when you attach the electricity, you'll need to be able to run the positive through all of these and the negative through both of those. So it's very simple. Just a couple of nuts there, and then you have your plus and your minus. It's good to color code them as well so that you know what you're doing. I'm gonna have the plus as the red. You need to attach it like so, and the black as the negative. This side as well. Now to house the cell, I'll be using a glass jar, and it'll go in here like so. Now you're going to need to seal the jar as well, so the lid, what we'll do is make an incision and run some tubing through it. Make sure that this is all secured. These materials to run the gas are basic enough. You'll find them in pet shops. This is airflow tubing for a fish tank, and these are the same, they're fittings. What you'll need to do is, what I will do is get a hot glue and seal up the area on this side and on this side so that there's no escape of gas, and this will then run into my bubbler, which is another story. We'll get to that again. What you'll need to do as well is to make a hole here for the wires to go through, and have that also sealed as well. So that'll be what it looks like basically. Now inside here, when you're filling it with your distilled water, just bottled water I suppose, you'll need to fill it up over the wiring so that it's well submerged. For the process to take place, you will need bicarbonate of soda in the water to help the electricity, to make the water conductive, so that it'll pass through, and then as it passes through it'll split the water into hydrogen and oxygen gas, and that's what will come through the tube. So I'm using just a baking mixture which has bicarbonate of soda in it. You can buy it in other in most shops. It's very handy, it's very cheap. You'll need about, for a jar this size, you will need maybe half a teaspoon to help the reaction along. Now, to make the bubbler, you will need a small Tupperware container, or container really of any kind. I chose Tupperware. Use the lid, seal it on with hot glue, make a hole in the top, and using a stopper, it's a sink stopper, you will use that to block the hole. It won't be tight, too tight that it won't be able to come out, but if there was a flashback in the container, this would come off and the small amount of hydrogen that will be in here will ignite, and it's a safety mechanism. This will be cut out and a hole will be made for the hydrogen gas to come out and into your engine. On the bottom you'll have your incisions made, and these will be linked up with the hydrogen fuel cells. Depending on how many you have, you'll need separate incisions. And this is the finished bubbler. The hydrogen gas and the oxygen gas will come in through this pipe here, and it will bubble through up to the surface. This is a safety mechanism in case of if the gas gets ignited, the flame will only travel far as here and not into the cells below. There will be a small combustion event and this will pop off, and that'll be the end of it. And it's a good safety feature. And now once the fuel cell is complete, I'll switch it on and you'll see the hydrogen being produced. And there you go.